I once checked in at a restaurant and gave the hostess my name to hold my slot. She then asked for my last name, since the person below shared my first name. When I told her my last name, she looked at me like I was lying. The person below had my first and last name. She laughed and introduced us, and we took a pic. I've never met someone with my same first and last name since. Same exact thing happened to my dad, and we have a rare surname that nobody in my family has ever met anyone else with before. Funny thing is, since moving to that city and publishing his number in the phono book, my dad had been getting calls/voicemails he didn't understand, including collections and the other guy's young daughter asking why he disappeared and when will she see him again. So my dad got to yell at the guy to get his S*** together. I was in elementary school, during recess, just kinda daydreaming and looking at some ravens flying overhead, when one of them suddenly took a nosedive right into an open trash can. So of course I rush over there to check it out, but the raven was just gone out of nowhere. I was not the only penny who saw it though. Another kid came rushing over as well, and that's how I met my best friend for the next 4 years. Come to find out your friend was the raven the entire time. I got stung by a platypus. Tried to conquer the tri-state area again. Before my husband and I were married, but had been dating for a long while, I was watching Portlandia and bam, there's my husband on screen. Dumbfounded I called him, and he casually said, "Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Is your husband Fred Armisen?" I went to see Mitch Hedberg do stand up. We stayed around a while hoping to see him leaving. He never materialized though, so my husband and I walked towards our car. As we were walking we heard a woman yell from an alley, "Hey, Mitch Hedberg is back here signing autographs." We walked around the corner behind a scary old building. It was like 1 AM and pretty dark. There was Mitch Hedberg and no other fans. Just him and his wife, who had been the one to yell about autographs. He was very high and super lovey. He hugged my husband and me and told us what his fans mean to him. He took pictures of us for his scrapbook page online. He was also hilarious. We were just there behind a building at 1 AM with Mitch Hedberg and his wife laughing and hugging deep into the wee hours. When I tell people this they go silent, and I'm not sure why. I figure they don't believe it. If it was any other comic I'd be skeptical, but this seems very much like the kind of thing he'd do. Just get all full of hugs and laugh. Started college. Saw my brother's best friend on campus, from a distance. Hard to miss. Nate's 6'6", skinny long brown hair. Fitting of our childish friendship, I straight up open field tackle the guy. From behind. Blindsided. "It's not Nate. I apologize," and sheepishly run away. 3 hours later, a girlfriend from high school introduces her new boyfriend to a group of us. It's the guy I tackled. Danny. Super nice and forgiving guy. We've been friends for 15 years. That is 100% the way you make the best friends. Anybody that doesn't kick your asterisk immediately has to be cool. A friend once called the wrong number, got the wrong house, and had the right person pick up. So, I was at work, replacing a modem for my boss. I'd removed the modem and connected a telephone to test that it had dial tone. Soon after, the phone rang. It didn't make much sense, because that phone line had only been used for outgoing calls from the computer. When I picked up, the person on the other line just said, "Hey man, you want to see a movie later?" I recognized the voice too. It was a friend of mine. I was really confused for a second, and said something like, "Josh, how did you get this number?" He said he called my home phone number. He must have misdialed my number, and accidentally dialed the number for my boss's modem line, at work. He called the wrong number, got the wrong house, and the right person picked up, on a phone that had only been connected for 2 minutes in the past 2 years. The odds must be astronomical. It's just a weird coincidence that I'll always remember. That is actually insane. How close were the numbers? Got stuck in a bank for the night. When the bank is closed, you can still get to the ATM thanks to a security door. Once inside, the door decided to stop working. No phone, no emergency button. Just waited here for hours till someone in the street saw me trough the glass and called someone. Did you get stuck in there with Victoria's Secret Supermodel Jill Goodacre? An eagle came for my face as a child. I was about 8. I ducked and it ended up grabbing my hair and taking some with it. I ran inside crying and told my mom. She didn't believe me, so I never told anyone else. I'm 22. Were you wearing a dead fish on your head? I was walking on a hiking/biking trail when a woman rode past me on her bicycle. I yelled out, "Keep the pedal to the metal." Not 2 seconds later I hear an awful metallic noise and turn to see the poor woman's pedal mechanism had fallen apart. She told me, "You shouldn't have said that." I apologized profusely and asked if she needed any help. Naturally she didn't it from me anyway. We apparently share a superpower. When I was a kid we were at a Christmas tree farm. They had a little train that took you around the farm. I was sitting at the front when I asked the driver if we could go off-roading. The train derailed a second later. The look the driver gave me when he asked what I had just said scared the crap out of me. Thought the dude was gonna knock out a 10-year-old. I was the brokest I have ever been, living in the middle of nowhere. I was pulling my last $20 out of a gas station ATM. I hit the button and it spit out $60. I was only charged $20 on my account. It sounds like such a tall tale, but I swear it happened. This is like a side plot of an episode of Frasier. Martin was using a bank ATM and it spit out an extra $40. He tries to return the $40, but due to a series of misunderstandings, ends up with a $10,000 payout. I had a pet hummingbird as a kid. My mom found it injured on a sidewalk and nursed it back to health. It only had one eye and no depth perception, so we kept it inside. We'd let it buzz around the room, land on us, and all that jazz. My brother told his teacher about it in 3rd grade, and the teacher actually called my mom and was like, "Your son has made up a crazy story and insists it's real." Reality was we had a pet hummingbird and that seemed crazy enough people didn't believe it. How long did it live? Back in middle school I was walking back to class after lunch when someone chucked something down the hallway as hard as they could. My natural instinct was to jump up and catch it. It was a perfect catch, and not a single person saw. It was a mozzarella stick. Did you eat it? Was contract programming, dropping into the office every Friday. The assistant cat dude was there to take my work. Who died and left you in charge? Jeff died 2 days ago. Oh. That happened at my college retail job. My horrible manager got the position because she was promoted from assistant manager when the previous manager died in a boating accident. I always wanted to say, "Who died and left you, boss?" but she was bad enough as it was. I tripped and fell at the same corner outside Subway 3 different times years apart, and the same guy tried to catch me every single time. Edit. Okay, I keep getting loads of soulmate/marriage comments, so to clarify, I was 7 the first time this happened. This was a grown man. Mayo. Edit 2. This man is not a stalker or pedophile. Him and my mum would recognize each other because she was with me each time. Yes, he fell trying to catch me, but it was funny, so it's okay. And no, this was not the underground train type of Subway, I mean the sandwich shop. He did not work there. And no, he isn't homeless, fuck's sake, getting a lot of the same BS comments. And no, he wasn't tripping me. We would be walking opposite directions, and no, his name isn't Robbie. Does tried mean that he failed every time? Because that's the bit I find the funniest. Like, not only is this guy there every time you fall, but he also constantly fucks up the save. I was playing 8-ball at a bar one night. I'm not very good, just play for fun. I'm on a slight winning streak. My next opponent racks them, and I break. 8-ball goes in on the break, so it's an automatic win. Dude refuses to leave the table, continues to put quarters in and racks again. I'm like, dude, you lost. There's like 8 people in line to play next. He's drunk and being stubborn and won't leave. So I break again, and the 8-ball drops again. Dude walks away without saying a word. I have to believe this, because I've only ever pocketed the 8 on a break twice in my life, and both happened within the same week. It's not really funny, but I shot a hole-in-one while golfing by myself when I was 16. It wasn't one of those beautiful arching shots. No. It was a worm burner that I thought ended up in a little stream behind the hole because it appeared to disappear off the back of the green. Looked for 20 minutes before just walking by the hole. I got a hole-in-one in mini golf, except it was the wrong hole. My sister being bullied by a parrot calling her names. I dated a girl in high school who owned a parrot. The first time I came over to her house to have dinner with the family, it said, "Another one bites the dust," as soon as I walked in. Me being black does not mean I'm good at basketball. I said before, lazily throwing the ball backwards over my head for a 3-pointer. Reminds me of a coach I had when playing basketball as a teenager. He was trying to explain the importance of watching where you're aiming while taking a layup. He was stood at the halfway line and said, "If you aren't looking where you're throwing, it's got as much chance of going in as this." He then threw it backwards over his shoulder and straight in the net. It undercut his point a little bit, but at least it always stuck in my mind. Background: my parents live in an old house, and my brother moved into one that's a bit of a fixer-upper. My dad knows how to do carpentry, electrical, and plumbing, and passed this knowledge on to us through home renovations. I'm forbidden from using the phrase, "Hey guys, wouldn't it be hilarious if," because every time I do, that thing happens in the worst way possible, even if it's something wild and implausible. Would it be hilarious if the old porch was solid concrete? It was, with 1-inch thick rubber holding it together. Wouldn't it be hilarious if that wire was still live? It was, and power to the entire house was shut off. Someone wired this outlet in before the circuit breakers. Wouldn't it be hilarious if that old pipe was full of water still? Brother cut into it, water began gushing out. Wouldn't it be hilarious if this trellis was holding up the entire wall? Wall began rapidly sagging down because the damn trellis was structurally integral. Can you reply to me and say, wouldn't it be hilarious if I won the lottery, please? When I was ditching first period in HS, a cop was in front of me at 7/11. The cashier couldn't break his $50, so I paid for his coffee with my stuff. He thanked me, we jabbed about me being late to school, and I noticed the tattoo on his neck, and we joked about bad decisions. 2 weeks later I get caught in a speed trap, and who sticks his head in my window? And he went, "Coffee girl." And I went, "Tap neck." And got let off with a finger shake. For some reason, when I read finger shake, I imagined him holding out his finger and you shaking it like a handshake. My doctor asked me once if I'd had a digital rectal exam yet. I responded, "Show, they are digital now." Then I looked over to see him lubing his digits. That made me genuinely chuckle. In 2000 I was selling ecstasy in a club. I was very high and not very discreet about it. At the time, no club owner really cared, but it was tacky to be out in the open. I get grabbed by security, zipped into cuffs, and stuffed out the side door. Pocket full of cash and drugs. I'm totally fucked. Cops have been caught and are on their way. Janet, a friend of mine, saw me get thrown out and ran for her car, a Mitsubishi Eclipse. I'm standing there with one arsehole security who says he's a cop off duty. Janet pulls up, opens the door, and screams, "Get in." Handcuffed, I jump in the car and the door slams as she hits the gas. Clean fucking jet away. I have been clean for 14 years, thank God. Everyone deserves to have a movie quality moment at some point in their lives.